I firmly believe that we are seconds from midnight on the doomsday clock, and yet our entire media has completely and utterly and deliberately withheld that danger from the public. Is it the same in the US?
Absolutely. We have this conversation about the justification of the West in its support of Ukraine. But we ignore something that the Russians have been raising even before this proxy war began. If you remember, back in December of 2021, the Russians submitted a draft treaty to the United States and NATO seeking to resolve this diplomatically. And all they said is Ukraine can't be a member of NATO. And one of the reasons why is that the Russian nuclear deterrent command and control, early warning, and indeed some of their missile capabilities were designed when Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union. So that Ukraine served as a land barrier, a buffer between these sensitive locations and NATO. Now, if Ukraine becomes a member of NATO and NATO moves long range missiles onto Ukrainian soil, this critical infrastructure is exposed to preemptive first strike. And this is exactly what has happened. The United States promised, Joe Biden promised Vladimir Putin that there would never be American missiles on Ukrainian soil. There would never be Ukrainian missiles on Ukrainian soil, or American missiles. He lied through his teeth. Now we have ATACMS missiles targeted by Americans. Ukraine cannot target these missiles. They lack the technical capacity to collect the data and program the missiles. We pick the targets. We target the missiles. All the Ukrainians do is push the button. America is at war with Russia right now, and the American people don't understand it, don't understand the reality or the consequences. Russia will retaliate. Let's just pray that Russia continues to have the maturity to avoid this escalating into a general nuclear war. But if it does, hopefully the last thought through people's minds will be, besides, oh, damn, well, it's our fault, because it is our fault. This is a war that we in the West have thrust upon ourselves. As Vladimir Putin once said, when there's a nuclear war, everybody will die, but the Russians will go to heaven as martyrs. The West will go to hell as those who started this conflict.
Well, we've made it this far into the interview. Let's hope
Russia will invade the U.S. next. Shalom. Peace to the 144,000 and the rest of your elect out there. I would like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. So, as y'all saw in the beginning, you heard Scott Ritter, who is an expert, warn that the Third World's War is coming. Furthermore, this war is biblical prophecy. You know, when you read through Ezekiel chapter 38, Gog is speaking about Russia. You understand? So Russia has allies, and Russia has allies that is protecting and backing up, and vice versa. So there's a lot going on in the world right now, and I actually recently learned that California had its first fatal bear attack victim. And this is just days close to the information coming out that Russia has declared the U.S. an enemy. So if you ask me, this is an omen. Now, what is the definition of omen? Let's see. An event regarded as a portent of good or evil. So this event that took place in California, it's a sign. It's a sign from the Most High, if you ask me. Because why now? Why does California have its first fatal bear attack at a time like this? Where the bear of Russia, because Russia's animal symbol is a bear, is now declaring the U.S. as an enemy. You see? In addition, the U.S. is part of NATO, and we see what's going on close to the border of Russia and how Ukraine wants to join NATO. So this is all a recipe for disaster, a recipe for war. As usual, I got one scripture that I want to read. This is Amos 5:18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. So, the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Why? It's because when the Most High makes his presence known and felt throughout the earth, it's going to be destruction. And he's going to do that through his son, Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And the destruction from World War III is also going to be done through the ICBM missiles and hypersonic missiles that various countries throughout the world possess. And Russia is one of those countries. Verse 19, as if a man did flee from a lion. You could say that the lion is a representation of the Lion of Judah. The Lion of Judah. And a bear met him. The bear is a representation of Russia. Or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. The serpent represents China. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? Because you have to think about it. When that button gets pushed for those missiles to get launched, it's going to be great destruction, smoke everywhere. And you got to remember, that is a war that's never been fought before. So you can only imagine the amount of damage it's going to cause. It's going to make the earth quake. The entire world is going to know. So in other words, when you read Amos 5:19, there's going to be no way out for Esau and the U.S. Because this place is known as Babylon the Great, okay? And when you read Revelation chapter 18, verse 1, it skips to the end fate of Babylon the Great. So we know that it's destruction. With that, peace.